Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm very well. A little bit tired from yesterday when we had a cacao dance.
It was amazing.
Oh my God, it was, everyone was beautiful and it was powerful.
Yes.
I started my day really early and so that's also, for me, was a lot of energy, but it was so much joy and yeah, we made a lot of happy people, made a lot of dreams come true.
Yeah, they were all dancing. I can see how happy from their eyes, like moving with the music and the cacao effect. It's unbelievable, believe me. And thank you very much for letting me having this experience here in this very special place. It's amazing here, really.
You're welcome. It was rather spontaneous, and now some people actually travel from around the world to come and have this experience because, well, there's a video on YouTube, a cacao dance that became very famous.
Yeah, millions of views, more than 2
yes,
millions.
More than 2 million views in 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link of this video.
Description.
Maybe the description is better. Yeah, I will put it there, and you should watch it. Definitely, it's so good.
It's just nice to listen to as well, and then when you watch it, it's like a dream.
Yeah.
It feels like a dream.
Yeah.
And that's part of the experience yesterday, to come live this dream, and whether it's in your own bubble or connecting with everyone, I think there's time for all of that.
Yeah, maybe you can give some information about what cacao is, cacao ceremonies, because it's quite new in Turkey. I don't know in other countries how is it like.
Yes.
But what is it? What are the effects of it?
So everyone knows cacao through knowing chocolate, except that they don't. So cacao is one of the raw ingredients for making chocolate, but by the time it becomes chocolate, it's often been processed so much that it's lost a lot of its original properties. Cacao has over, I think, 200 different compounds that make it up. It's very complex. And in its pure form, has a lot of healing properties and also medicinal properties. And it's not used as a psychedelic, but they say it brings you to the door, and then you can choose your experience. We use it with our dance ceremonies as a heart opener and also energizer. That's the purpose for us. And it also grows in Guatemala. It's native from this region all the way to Peru. And so
I'm sorry to interrupt. In Guatemala or the Central America or the whole
Central America, from the Yucatan, Mexico, all the way to Peru. So in all these countries, it is its origin. Of course, it now grows in Africa, which is where most of the world's production happens, but it's not original from there. So we will then make like a beverage, a bit like a hot chocolate. With a little bit of honey. It's not too sweet. It's quite bitter. We put a little bit of a sweetener, and usually a few spices, just to make it interesting. You know, like it could be made any number of ways. But often we put chili in it a little bit as well. It also activates it, and they could put cardamom or canela, cinnamon, or nutmeg, or there's many things, rose petals. There's many things you can do to create a unique cacao drink. And so we'll use cacao as a sacrament, effectively. You know, as say the Catholics and Christians use wine to symbolize the blood of Christ. Like, we use it as a sacrament. It's as much as it is symbolic, it's also chemically also giving us superpowers.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, it has a huge effect. I can say that. Body on soul, free your mind, everything. It's just a cacao, but
we were on the dance floor, right? It was 3 hours of music, and I was on the dance floor for 2.5 hours, and the only reason I had to stop is because I needed to drink some water. I was getting thirsty.
You don't even get tired.
No.
You just dance the whole night. And no, not at all. Not tired at all.
Yeah, and I have to say, no one was drinking alcohol. There were no drugs. That's also, you know, cacao on its own does a lot of magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know it's unknown, and that's how we don't call it a party, we call it a ceremony,
Yeah.
because it is. But some people may use that nickname.
No.
You know, it's really intentional as well. We take the cacao and we put an intention for what this gathering and ceremony means to us, and then the dance is a way of celebrating, expressing what is, connecting with the alchemy of what's being presented in the space. Of course, there's the music, there's the vibration. We have a very good sound system here, and so we're feeling also the vibration of the music, not just
Yes.
it's like a festival where, you know, if you've never been to a festival, part of why there's big speakers is not for more volume. Of course, volume is something that we observe, but it's for the frequencies that we receive through our bodies. That has quite a magical effect as well on the whole
You're right.
experience
Yeah, I
and vibe.
think like that before. Yeah, the vibration is most important part. I mean, the most affects you. Yeah, you're right. And by the way, I didn't introduce Greg to you. Yes.
Hello.
Greg, we just started speaking so quickly. Okay, Greg is the founder of this beautiful magical place, Eagle's Nest. So Greg, please tell about yourself. We didn't talk about you, how this dream came true. So what do you aim here?
Part of my journey was really not knowing what I wanted to do when I grew up. At school I did very well. I had really good grades. I got a really good job. I had the career. I'd done everything I needed to do, you know, that society or parents say you need to do to be happy and successful. Except that in the West we measure success usually with money, and that's only a small part of success. And the biggest success is what happens inside, and all good and well, it's like, how do we get there? And so I quit my job, and that was 22 years ago. And my journey up till now, up till 6 years ago maybe, when I started this project, has been to figure out what it is that my life is about. How do I achieve the ultimate success of becoming fully realized, living my full potential, and actually going beyond that. There's a concept called self-transmutation, where you go beyond what your full potential is, because I believe that we're all gods if we allow and recognize that in us, and so anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible. I believe in that too.
So this is sort of the philosophy that maybe describes my journey, not so much the detail. I'm happy to give you some examples, but in different times in life, it's really different realizations. It comes down to a feeling, and you know. So there's a Japanese system that I think does a really good job of bringing about this more esoteric, spiritual aspect of like, what is it that you want to do in life? And that can change. And making it more of a science of like, okay, because we're very mental in sort of the Western thinking, and we've lost that connection with heart and that guidance system, right? It's all a choice, and like you study, and as artists we're a little bit marginalized, and I think it's reclaiming that balance. But there's a system that was developed by the Japanese called Ikigai, I-K-I-G-A-I, and it talks about your endeavors. It talks about 4 different categories. It's going to be sustainable and give you a lot of satisfaction and completion. It needs to be something you love to do. It needs something to be something you're good at, something that's of service to others, and something you can be paid for. And often what we do only completes one of these 4 categories, or maybe 2, or maybe 3. But if there's one missing, there's a sentiment of, ooh, I'm not quite fulfilled in some way. And so I found that system very good to bridge the gap. However, For some people, I think they know, maybe, from a very early age, but for most people on Earth, a lot of people, it's really sad. They do things that they don't really enjoy, they have to, or they enjoy it, but they can't get paid, but they're poor, and it's just like, how can I have it all?
Yeah.
And this system, I found, is a very good framework.
Thank
for,
you so much. I haven't known this before, so the name of it I'm gonna ask you and write it in the description for all of us. I'm gonna check it.
So specific points in my journey, for example, if you're just curious about, well, how did it happen for me?
Yeah.
So first it was letting go of my really good job that was basically the prize of having been a good student and getting good grades and then getting the job, right?
Yeah.
Success. So I threw that away. I didn't throw it away. I was like, okay, I have this success, but it's not complete. And so I started traveling, and traveling is a wonderful teacher, but of course you don't necessarily get all the answers if you don't have the intention to be looking for answers. Amongst my travels, I eventually came to Guatemala, where I felt very, very connected with nature and the rawness of the power of seeing these volcanoes, and they're just part of our everyday life. And so we decided to stay here with my partner at the time, and we started a business, coffee and bagels, and that was fun. But later on, I was asking, what's my passion? And so I was exploring that, and I found a passion in acrobatic yoga.
Okay.
A lot of different values. In acro yoga, you'll meet a stranger, and you'll start trusting them with your life, because you're going to start doing some acrobatics with them. And so trust of people, good communication with self, with people. I think it also is a great physical practice. There's a global community with acro yogis. You'll go beyond your limits. You'll do things that even as a child you'd never done. So it also disproves the fact that the older we get, the less able we are. That's just not true. They're just ideas that we have. And so in that sense, we get to be children again. And we get to play. So all the values embodied by that made it become a passion for me. And that was the original inspiration of building this space, of what do I need to do to live my dream, and guided by my passion, for acro yogis to come play. And so this seeded building this space, which has now become an iconic space for people for explorers like yourself and you, to come on a pilgrimage, to see what it might be like to explore and live out your dream, or seek inspiration that then might help you define what your dream might be, and then figure out a plan to execute the dream. However, the how you do it, you don't need to know when you start off.
Yes.
The how is the journey.
Yeah.
And so the how, you don't have to figure out the how. Life will help you with that.
Yeah. You just need to take the first step to your dreams, whatever it is, and it will just appear, right?
Exactly. For example, the dance we did yesterday, when I built this space, I had no idea I was going to be hosting dance celebrations. I was guided by acro yoga, but one step after the other, the guidance is that, wow, creating the experiences of yesterday, creating a lot of magic and connection and transformational experiences for a lot of people that came yesterday, is definitely aligned with the origin of wanting to create this space. It's just the how has changed, and that's fine, because the why is still the same: to create an epic inspirational space for people who want to go beyond, and who want to play together, and who want to live doing things they love doing.
Thank you so much for sharing all this with us. I'm so grateful and also glad that you made your dreams come true, and wish all of us the same. It's not easy, I know, but it's worth to try, really, because otherwise there's no meaning to live, I think, to feel this satisfaction while living our lives. Otherwise it will be just sadness, feeling not complete. So I wish for myself the same thing. Still, I don't know what my passion is. I love traveling a lot and I have some intentions. I don't know how it's gonna be, but I love to be on the flow. And when you travel like this, you find some really beautiful souls like Greg. You just travel and meet beautiful souls which who inspires you. So I'm so grateful to meeting you and being here. Thank you so much.
Likewise, and like you were saying this morning when we were chatting before, at the beginning it's not necessarily easy, it's uncomfortable because we're doing something that we're not used to doing. We're having to learn new habits, we're having possibly to overcome fear, we're having to follow our own path where maybe some people, maybe sometimes some people very close to us might be disagreeing or critiquing us because it's different, and that's part of this journey. If you really want to live to your fullest, you have to go explore, and parts of it might feel uncomfortable, and I know you've experienced that too.
Yes.
But there's more of us doing this, so you will find allies and you will find guides and guidance. Taking that first step is possibly one of the most courageous acts that you can do and that you've taken. And I know for me, it was the most important. The most important one was the one that I was less sure about because I did not know what I was stepping into. And it's confusing.
Confusing, scaring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully by me sharing my experience, it's normal to feel that way, or it can be how it feels. It's not the same for everybody, but it doesn't mean you're on the wrong track. It actually might be that this is exactly what needs to happen in order then to bring about this change that you're looking for, to fill that void of, I don't know, there's different sentiments, when things are off: dissatisfaction, sadness, unhappiness, disillusion, because for a lot of us, we've just followed, the sheep, we've just followed the herds, and we haven't crafted our lives for the unique being that we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I think it's time to finish because it's gonna be so long. I mean, I can keep talking with you for hours, but yeah. For now, thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice onward journey. Good luck with the volcano.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I will be climbing there, I hope.